Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2014 update. This is actually the 32nd film of my 31.
Really?
Yeah, I went past 31. Woo! This is a film from essentially, I guess you could call him a first-time director, Nickles, who's actually mostly known for acting, oddly enough. He was, catch this. I didn't know who he was either. He played Jim Morrison in the Wayne's World 2 movie. Yeah, I know, everybody's picturing it right now, trying to go back to Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2 and going, swing. What, Jim Morrison? Who was he even in the movie? Yeah, but he was also Private Paul, what was his name? Galvin in Hamburger Hill, a film that I absolutely love. I don't think you've seen it.
Nope.
No. She actually, when I told her about, when I told her about Hamburger Hill, she thought of the Fats Domino song and thought it was called Hamburger Hill. Yeah, Blueberry Hill. Blueberry Hill.
You're not supposed to say that. Oh my God.
Very different.
Yes.
Very, very different. But the movie we're talking about is Playback.
Ugh. Sorry.
Didn't like this one either.
Nope. Nope.
It's funny. It's one of those films where I think the trailer, I actually like the trailer. Like, if you watch the trailer, it's a movie that you want to see.
Yeah. Well, that's the point, right?
Right? Well, yeah, but it doesn't always work. I don't think if you watch the last video and you watch the trailer for Sight,
I don't remember it.
no, it doesn't matter because it sucked.
Yes.
And there's no trailer's gonna help that, honestly. It probably has, the trailer only has like the spooky portions in it, which aren't even really in the movie. So, but yeah, Playback, it literally makes it out like the movie is about Christian Slater, which it isn't. No. He's on there. See his name,
and he's
Christian Slater, and he's in it. He's in it. He plays the local police officer type thing. So yeah, he's in it, but. And oddly enough, he's in it for the name. Like they paid to get a name actor in there, so, you want to get some money, you want somebody to buy your film, you had to have some kind of name in it. Christian Slater is that name. And he's in it a lot more than I expected. Yeah. Considering he's Christian Slater. I mean, like, I guess his career isn't quite what it used to be, but when I see a film like this, direct-to-video type stuff, and Christian Slater's name at the top, I'm expecting him to have, like, maybe the first 5 minutes in the film, and then you never see him again. Yeah. Except for maybe at the end. Right? So he came on set for a day to shoot something, and that's all they got. That's what I expected. But no, he
was in it.
He wasn't the main character, but he had a major role.
Yeah.
A very sleazy police officer.
Yes.
Yeah. The film... what the Playback refers to is essentially video cassette and video, right? Which plays a very, very important role in a lot of aspects about this film. It's well, what you could say, it opens with, it does open with the actual murder scene, right? Like, I'm not imagining that.
But I think it was,
So, essentially, yeah, there's a murder happens in the past, and the guy essentially videotapes the entire thing while he's doing it, right? And so it's a lot of first-person perspective, sort of like found footage type stuff that you're getting, and it opens with it. And I have to admit, when I first saw that, I kind of cringed. I kind of cringed, because I thought the entire film was going to be first-person perspective found footage. But it's not. Not entirely. But yeah, so he's going around and he's killing this family, and he's videotaping it. He eventually gets killed. Flash forward to the present day, I guess is what it's supposed to be. and you get certain characters, one being the Christian Slater as the cop, school teachers, teenagers at the high school, and this one guy who apparently works at the television station.
Yeah.
And so they have the footage that was shot. So they have the footage that was shot by the TV crews. They have the footage that was shot, by this guy. I guess they had it at one point. And yeah, so it all revolves around videotapes and video. And it's really weird how to really explain it. I guess the one kid is looking into this.
Because he's doing a project.
Yeah, he's doing a project or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's trying to find out information on this killing. I guess he's really fascinated with it. I guess it's a little bit of local legend, if so he wants to do his school project on this. And though it did seem like people were a little reluctant to let him do it, nobody really came out and said, don't do it.
But they weren't very helpful.
No, nobody was really helpful except for the guy who...
His friend. It was his friend.
Was he like a drug dealer or something like that? He seemed
Yeah.
to be
he was
like his
always
drug
like
dealer. Yeah.
sniffing something.
I don't know. I don't know if he was hooking up this kid, but for some reason these two guys were kind of friendly. I don't know if they were using each other, I guess, maybe? Because he was getting the video equipment to shoot his little horror movie thing that he was doing, right?
Yeah.
The main character in his presentation and his research was actually sort of doing his own little horror movie and using aspects from the original killings to make this, I don't know, docudrama in a way. And so I guess he was borrowing the video cameras from and equipment from this guy from the television studio who was, I guess, a few years older than him. So he was out of school already, right? So, and it gets to the point where he's like, you know what? Can I get the footage from this killing? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll look it up for you. Well, that's where everything starts going bad, you see, because he watches the footage and becomes possessed by the footage. And then he starts killing people.
And can control people.
And yeah. And at first, the first few killings are kind of normal. He just, kills people. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's going to kill you. So they're normal kind of slasher type killings. But then it starts getting a little weird, where, he can kill people through televisions and cameras. And I don't know. It was.
Yeah, I don't like
I get the whole possession thing, whatever, cameras steal your soul, all that whole idea. I mean, it's even mentioned in the film, I think, somebody mentions, oh, don't you believe in that whole, or don't you know about, people believing that the camera can steal your soul type thing. Mm-hmm. I get that. I even get that as a concept. It's been done in other movies. Fine, but had they just stuck with the guy who was possessed by the old killer and he just went on continuing to kill, that I would have been with. Wholeheartedly. It would have been great. It just would have been a regular kind of slasher type film, right? But the fact that they started getting really weird and it started getting, I think, what was it? Was it Shocker? I think the Wes Craven movie Shocker, where the guy was electrocuted on the electric chair and he turned into like a guy who was just electricity, and so he would go through and kill people.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of, but not as awesome. Though I haven't seen Shocker since it was originally released, so maybe it isn't as awesome as I think. But yeah, so I don't know. The film has got a lot of perversion going on in it, a lot of voyeurism going on in it. There's some nudity in the film.
Really?
I think there was a little bit.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But it had the opportunity for a lot more. Yeah, she wouldn't have been too into it, but
no.
I would have. What can I say?
I'm sitting right here.
I know. She is. But admit it, that when it comes to horror movies, nudity is almost a staple when it comes to a lot of these things. Especially if you're going direct to video. It doesn't hurt to have some naked people.
Okay, people.
They don't always have to be women.
Okay. Well, it's only fair.
It could have been Christian Slater.
Okay.
You know, he's still a decent looking guy. He hasn't gotten old and gray yet. He is probably one of the oldest people in the movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Now, the film, I think this was probably done before any of these people had any real careers, but it has Ambyr Childers in it, who you may remember from We Are What We Are, which played at last year's Toronto After Dark film. A film I do highly recommend seeing. It's a really, really gorgeous film. And don't look at the trailer. Do not look at the trailer for that film. It gives away everything. Part of that reason why the film is so good is you don't see the ending coming. But it's in the trailer.
What? They shouldn't do that.
No, they shouldn't do that. And it's one of those films where everybody who's seen it, who saw it in the festival circuit before it ever, you know, went to the trailers and went out to the general public and stuff, and they went on video, they're all like, wow, such a good movie. And then the trailer came out and everybody went, you gave away the movie. Why would you do that? You know, like, there's trailers are out there and you'll see they'll have too much in the trailer. No, this gave away the movie. The reason why the movie has the impact it does. Unfortunately. Johnny Pacar is also in this, who's essentially known from television, Make It or Break It and Flight 29 Down, a couple of television series. He's main player in those. Alessandra Torresani, you'd probably know her if you watched Caprica at all. Did you watch Caprica? Battlestar Galactica sequel? No? Okay. Well, she's Zoe Greystone. Essentially the main character.
Who was she in the movie?
She was the blonde.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then there's also Jonathan Keltz, who is probably the one who had, outside of Christian Slater, had the most experience. From television, his last project was Rain. He was a regular on Republic of Doyle. If you're Canadian, you should know Republic of Doyle. And for those of you out there who watched it, I didn't watch it, but I know a lot of people who did. He was Jake Steinberg from Entourage. And he's done a whole bunch of other stuff, but those are three where he had, you know, main roles in them. And yeah, I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised to see that there were so many people in this, that I either recognized or that had pretty established careers, considering Christian Slater was all I thought it had when I first went into it. Oh, well, what are you going to do? But it's odd that if you look at it, the two names that are Christian Slater and Johnny Pacar. I have no idea who Johnny Pacar is.
No. Well,
the other people I named, I know who they are. I've never even heard of the television shows that he was in. But yeah, anyways, getting back to the movie, my biggest fault, outside of the fact that this guy can kill people through televisions, was that the filmmakers decided that they needed to add this weird post-production digital, you know, video problems with it. You know, like that you would find on a found footage film where, you know, the tracking goes off, or, you know, there's little shutters in the digital feed or something like that when you're watching the regular movie. That wasn't on a video. That wasn't in there. That made no sense. And even some of the stuff that was shot, it's like, but this was shot on video. How? It's not digital video. It was just video. Why does it have digital artifacting going on? It's just, if for anybody who knows anything about filmmaking and shooting in digital and shooting on video and all that kind of stuff, those are like really, especially if you're a filmmaker, those are really amateur mistakes to make. You probably wouldn't have known the difference, but...
Well, thanks. No,
do you know what digital artifacting is?
No, but...
Exactly, right? But it bothered me to the point where I'm watching this movie and I'm like, why am I seeing it? It's a bit different when you're watching the videotapes. When you're watching video footage that's supposed to be, you know, from the videotapes and stuff. I get that. I get that there could be damage to the prints. I get that there could be stretching of the tape. I get that kind of stuff. But, well, considering some of them were shot on high 8, highly unlikely. But, anyways, when I'm watching the movie footage, the stuff that's shot on the film camera, or whatever, could be a digital camera, either way, it's not part of the actual movie. It's me as a viewer watching it. I shouldn't be having video problems with my feed as a spectator watching a movie. It made no sense. That bugged me. Like, it really bugged me. Because outside of that, I probably would have been okay with this film.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie. It's low budget, straight to DVD fare. There's nothing really amazing about it, but you already know that going in. You're not looking for anything amazing about it. It's not something I'm gonna say, you know what, 5 out of 5 stars. No, but it's not a 2. It's actually got something there. You know, the people can act.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You know, the story is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. The kills, outside of a couple of them where the guy's killing people through televisions, are okay. There could be more gore and more to the kills. Like I said, there could be more nudity to it. But outside of that, it's very PG. It's a very just PG direct-to-video kind of horror.
And it wasn't even scary.
No, but it wasn't trying to be scary. There was a couple of moments where there's some jump scares, and you jumped.
Yes.
She jumped when she watched the trailer, actually. We watched the movie, and we watched the trailer before we shot this, and she still jumped, even though she'd already seen the film.
I wouldn't call that was just like a...
You jumped.
It was just a move, it wasn't a jump. It was just a little, like a twitch. I twitched.
She jumped. No. and that being said, there are a couple moments in the film where, yeah, it can get you, but that's not the purpose of this film. This film plays out more like just a regular slasher killer type thing where, you know, here's the events, here's the story, here's the setup, and watch it unfold. People are dying. Figure out why, solve the, you know, mystery or whatever. And I like those movies. I don't have a problem with that. But that video thing really bugged me. It really bugged me. It totally took me out of the movie. And if you get taken out of the movie, then you're not into it. Right? So that's what bugged it, like, I don't know, for me. You obviously didn't have that problem with it.
No, I had a different problem.
Which was?
I didn't like that he was looking at all the girls.
Christian Slater?
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah, Christian Slater's a bit of a voyeur. Yeah, when I said he was a scuzzy, dirty cop, he's a very scuzzy, dirty cop. Except he's actually paying the guy from the television studio for videotapes that he's making of, like, the girls' change room.
Because he puts hidden cameras.
And, like, he's putting hidden cameras in people's bedrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's got an infatuation with a certain girl. But that doesn't stop him from just being like, I'm willing to watch anybody. Though he does fast forward through most of them. But when he couldn't get, there was, I think it was the first time they introduced that portion of his character. The girl that he wanted wasn't on the video. And he said, well, no, she wasn't there. So he's like, oh, well, then I'll stop fast forwarding. I'll just watch what I've got. And I can only imagine what he did after that.
Oh my god. Ugh, Rob.
I didn't imagine Christian Slater doing that.
Oh.
I didn't. I promise. She might have.
No.
Alright.
That's gross.
No, but he's very scuzzy.
Yes, and that really bothered me.
That bugged you that Christian Slater was scuzzy, or just that there was a scuzzy character?
The scuzzy character. I think the movie didn't need that.
But it is a movie about, like, video. And a big portion of video is that kind of stuff.
I just don't like that.
No? Alright. So, yeah, I guess... Would you watch it again?
No.
No? Would you recommend it to anybody?
Had I watched this before that site, I probably would have thought this was really bad. But because I watched it after that horrid... Ugh. Then I was like, okay, it's not so bad.
Take that for whatever you think.
Well, you kind of liked it.
I kind of liked it. I don't think I'd recommend it, though.
No.
I don't think I'd recommend it. I would say this is the kind of film that if it happens to be on, say, like a Netflix or something that you're already subscribed to, and you're sitting there going, seen it, don't want to see it. Oh, Sight, I heard that was terrible. And then Playback comes up, and you haven't seen it already?
Yeah, it's okay.
You know what? It's worth throwing on. It gives you something to watch. But I wouldn't go out of my way to actually track it down and watch it. Unless you're like a Christian Slater fanatic who has to see everything Christian Slater. And if you are...
I wouldn't watch it because you'd be disappointed.
Or maybe you wouldn't be.
What?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Depends on what you're into. Oh. Well, it's true.
Okay.
I'm just saying, maybe some people are like, they have a Christian Slater fetish where they've always wanted him to be a scuzzy voyeur.
There's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody. It might be Playback. I'm just saying. Or you can just toss it. Anyways, till the next video, guys. That's me and you. Saying take care. Have a good one. Actually, it's just me saying it. You can say it.
What do I say?
The catchphrase.
You said it.
Well, you can say it too.
Have a good one.